Good afternoon and welcome to the Seguin Public Library. Happy National Library Week. We're celebrating all week with different events, including today's Crafty Kids tutorial. I'm Hannah Farmer, the Youth Services Librarian, and what you're going to need for our tutorial today is the Crafty Kids kit. There are still a few you can pick up from the library. You'll need some water, either in a jar or in a spray bottle, which is my preferred method. Some glue, it doesn't matter what kind, glue stick or liquid glue, and some markers. Also scissors, and then if you're using the water in a jar method, you'll need some sort of paintbrush. All right, so let's start by opening the kit. I'm going to move my supplies around here and over here so I don't spill it. First of all, you have a flower on the front of your kit. And then inside you should have 3 coffee filters, plain white coffee filters. And then you'll have a bunch of pieces that are cut out. You'll have the sun, the top of an umbrella, the umbrella handle, some more flower cutouts, and some raindrop cutouts. There should be 3 raindrops in each kit. And before I forget, a big thank you to our teen volunteers that did most of this cutting. As well as one of the TLU students that's helping out the library this semester. Thank you so much. That was a lot of cutting for this kit. Okay, so you also will want to put something protective on your surface you're working on. I have wax paper down here. You can use a paper plate or a cookie sheet, anything you have just to protect your surface. But we are using washable markers. And that's important that they're washable so that the color will bleed through. I've already started coloring one of my coffee filters, and it looks like this. This is the one that I'm going to make into raindrops. So you can see I've used a lot of different blues. And I started with blue in the middle, and then I did some purple just to add some other colors to my raindrops, and then a lighter blue, and then a mixture of blue, green, blue, green. So I'm going to finish coloring this one with this kind of seafoam green washable marker. And you want to cover all of the space of the filter, but you can leave white spaces. You can see I just did lines, and sometimes I did scribbles, but one thing I also like to do is use a mixture of really good markers and some markers that are really old and drying out so that I get different textures and different color saturations. That's also a really eco-friendly way to use up your old drying markers that you don't want to use on your other nice projects. Your other filters, one will be for your flowers, and then the other one you'll want to cut in half, and that's going to go with your sun and your umbrella top. So I'm just cutting it in half. It doesn't have to be perfect. And this one that's going to be my sun, I'll probably color with yellow and orange. And so I'm just going to scribble on this one. This orange is dying out a little bit, drying out, I mean, and the yellow is nice and bold. So I'll have a lot of yellow in this one and just a little bit of orange. This is the orange I'm using. And if you want, your sun doesn't have to be yellow and orange. Maybe you don't want a realistic sun. Maybe you want a multicolor sun. That would be fun. And then, like I said, your other filter will be flowers. So I think I'll add some, I already started with some yellow, but I think I'll add some pink. Ooh, this is hot pink. So we'll have some pink flowers, some yellow, and then what other color haven't I done very much of? I've got green, blue. Oh, purple. And this purple is drying out a little bit. So you can see it's just going to be a light purple, I think. And so again, I'm getting out to the edges of the coffee filter, but I'm not covering all of the white space. We did this method in our February Crafty Kids program, but with only 1 or 2 filters. So this time we have, like I said, a total of 3. Okay, here's the fun part. I'm going to show you the spray bottle method first. I will clear this off so you can really see. Okay, again, you want to protect your surface because this is the messy part. Let's start with the blue filter. I'm going to flatten it as much as I can, and this is just plain water, and I'm going to spray right in the middle. Spray, and then I spray and watch the colors start to bleed across that coffee filter. This is why it needs to be washable marker. It'll get everywhere. So the colors are starting to bleed across the coffee filter, and it's starting to look really neat. Almost like tie-dye. And see, I'm holding that in such a way that the blue's dripping down, so I'm gonna put it back flat on my paper to dry. Now, let's use the water in a jar method with our paintbrush. So you might have already remembered this from February, but dip your brush in the water and paint. I'll do this half filter, paint the water onto your coffee filter. Get it fully wet and watch the colors start to bleed together. And got really wet. Okay, and that already looks all yellow and bled together. Okay, that's how you do that. I'm going to give this one a quick spray so I can use it later. This will be, I think, a lighter colored one because I didn't add a lot of color. You can spend more time than I did so that you get more color saturation if you want, but mine will end up being kind of pastel, I think. Okay, and I'm going to show you the blue one again, just so you can see how much more the colors have bled together since I set it down just a minute ago. So those will have to dry for probably an hour. You could set it in front of a fan or under a ceiling fan or something if you want it to dry faster. But here in the Texas heat, it'll dry pretty fast. So I have some that are already done. Here's a blue one. And here's one that's like orange and pink and purple. Ooh. And here is one that I'm going to use as my sun. So that's yellow and orange. Okay, so the next thing you will do is get your glue and your little cutouts. You could start with the raindrops if you want. Drops. And you'll just put a little bit of glue on your paper cutouts. It'll probably get a little messy. I think this might be easier with the liquid glue because of how skinny some of these cutouts are, so that's why I chose liquid glue. And then you will glue it down to your blue coffee filter or whatever color you decided to make your raindrops. And I'm gonna do another one with the sun. That'll be bigger to see on camera. So again, glue on your paper cutout. You don't really need gobs and gobs of glue. But you need enough so that it's all the way around the edge of your paper cutout. Okay, that's cool. So we can zoom in on that sun and see how the paper cutout outlines your coffee filter. But for the other pieces, like the raindrops and the flowers, you will have to cut around that paper cutout. So you want to get all 3 raindrops glued to your blue paper, and then I'll show you another example of what I mean with a flower. My paper dropped. Okay, this is a pink outline, so I'm going to put it on the orange part of my coffee filter. And I'll glue that down. So again, same method. Put glue on your paper cutout. A little bit all the way around. And glue it down to your paper, to your coffee filter. And that's why it needs to be dry, the coffee filter, so that the glue will stick to it. And then you'll take your scissors and cut around the edges of the coffee filter so that you have a flower. Let's see, what other tips do I want to give you while I'm cutting? Using contrasting colors is a good idea when you're coloring your coffee filters so that you can really tell the difference. Some colors might turn sort of a muddy brown, which is fine. But if you want really bright, vibrant spring colors, then I would do contrasting colors. For example, orange and blue. Pull together. And you can see that orange and blue contrast nicely with the pink outline. So what we have here are sun catchers. And you can decorate your windows with sun catchers. I think I'll put these up in the story room windows here. And the sun catches through that coffee filter, that thin paper, and it looks really pretty and just highlights all your colors. You do the same thing with your umbrella, same gluing method. And my umbrella is all curled, so I really do glue. And then you can use string or tape to hang all your pieces up in the window. You have a April showers bring May flowers scene. Okay, so here's the umbrella. And then what I would do, I have a finished raindrop here that I would put underneath my umbrella in the window. And then I'd put my sun and my flowers next to it. And in fact, I have a window behind me, so I could hold up the umbrella just so you can see. So you can hang it in the window like that with your raindrops all around your umbrella, and sun. That's why it's called a sun catcher. So, oh my goodness, look how beautiful my table is now with all of these bright spring colors. And spring is really blooming outside the library too. I hope you get a chance to come and visit soon. And very, very soon we will be putting out information about our summer reading programs this year. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned on our Facebook, YouTube, and website for more details about upcoming crafts, and the summer reading program. Happy National Library Week.